It's not looking good. If the tariffs go through, people are going to feel it. When Trump's tariffs come into effect, there's no pretending, things will get worse. That's the truth. Starmer was staring down. Well, I don't think anybody wants to see tariffs, he said, trying to sound hopeful. But the writing was on the wall. We're working hard on an economic deal, and we've made rapid progress, he added, his voice unsure. But the likelihood is there will be tariffs. Nobody welcomes that. Starmer did everything he could to win over Trump during his Washington visit. He laughed at Trump's jokes, offered awkward pats on the back, and put on a smile he probably didn't feel. It was a full-on charm offensive, all in hopes of getting the UK exempted from the looming tariffs. For a moment, it looked like he might be getting somewhere. But back in Munich, as Vice President J.D. Vance condemned UK free speech violations, the tone shifted. When asked to respond, Vance deferred to Starmer. "Come on, let's go, J.D., he joked. And Starmer stepped up, trying to smooth things over, defending the special relationship with the UK while also acknowledging infringements that affect American tech companies. It was diplomatic juggling, but Trump had other plans. Then came the moment that turned everything upside down. Starmer, once hopeful, suddenly found himself humiliated. He had gone to Washington on a mission to secure a breakthrough, but it turned into a cringe-worthy display of forced camaraderie. His attempts at flattery fell flat. He looked less like a leader and more like a nervous intern trying to impress the boss. The desperation showed. Trump could see it. And when Starmer tried one last Hail Mary, personally delivering a letter from the king, Trump played it off with a smirk. "Am I supposed to read it now?" he said, barely hiding his condescension. Starmer's message was clear. The UK wanted tariff exemptions. Trump's response was just as clear. "We'll take a look." He praised Britain's trade surplus but didn't commit to anything. Starmer tried to sweeten the deal, praising Trump's stance on Ukraine, offering a second state visit, even floating the idea of returning the Chagos Islands to Mauritius. It was a bold move, sure to stir up controversy, but it was all part of a larger effort to position Britain as a serious player. "This is the greatest alliance for prosperity and security the world has ever seen," he said, hoping to sell the idea that the special relationship still meant something. But that hope was misplaced. As the US team started reaching out to allies, the UK was nowhere near the top of the list. While figures like Marco Rubio were engaging with key partners, Britain was left out in the cold. Asked whether Starmer had succeeded in persuading Trump to spare the UK from tariffs, Trump said, "He tried. He earned whatever the hell they pay him over there." It was meant to sound like praise, but it rang hollow. Trump made no promises, only vague suggestions that a deal might still be possible. Behind closed doors, the message was even clearer. Europe wasn't the priority anymore. The US was shifting its focus to the Indo-Pacific, with China in its crosshairs. Starmer, still clinging to the past, hadn't caught on. He kept pushing, as if Britain's place at the table was guaranteed. But it wasn't. He walked into the room thinking he was a guest of honor. He wasn't even on the list. Asked if he'd come to Britain's aid in case of Russian aggression in Ukraine, Trump offered a half-hearted reassurance. "The British can take care of themselves," he said. "But if they need help, I'll be there." It wasn't exactly the vow of support Starmer was hoping for. In that moment, the reality hit. Trump wasn't going to save the UK. There would be no special exemptions. Just days earlier, Starmer had confidently told Parliament and industry leaders that the UK would be fine. Now, he was backpedaling. "We're working hard on a deal," he repeated. "But the likelihood is there will be tariffs." He tried to sound composed, but the nervous energy was unmistakable. The steel industry, the aluminum sector, the auto manufacturers, they were all bracing for impact. And Starmer's solution? Stay flexible, that's what he told his ministers. One even admitted it openly. "We're disappointed," the minister said. "But we're going to keep negotiating." It's hard to understand the logic. Tariffs were already in place. The damage was already being done. Starmer had tried everything: flattery, diplomacy, political theater, and none of it worked. Trump had pulled the rug out from under him. There was no backup plan. His team scrambled to suggest eliminating the digital services tax and opening up tech markets, hoping to buy some goodwill. It was a desperate move. And too late. The UK's industries were already feeling the heat. The steel sector, already on life support, was now in freefall. Car manufacturers like Jaguar Land Rover, who export vehicles to the US, were hit hard. In Northern Ireland, businesses faced losses of at least £100 million. Even efforts to shield Northern Ireland didn't pan out. The tariffs applied there too. Customs officials weren't going to split hairs over where a bottle of whiskey came from. And yet, Starmer smiled for the cameras. He played the part. Back home, markets were rattled. Investors braced for EU and Chinese retaliation. Canada was considering countermeasures. But the UK? Starmer refused to strike back. He stuck to his cool-headed approach, even as the spring budget's wiggle room vanished. No trade war is in our interest, he insisted. But all options remain on the table. Asked whether he felt played by Trump, Starmer dodged. The US is our closest ally, he said. We're well advanced on talks. We've made rapid progress, but the facts told a different story. The Office for Budget Responsibility was already warning of tougher times ahead. Any gains from policy changes could be wiped out. Still, Starmer insisted, people are £1,400 better off under the national living wage. Real wages are rising faster than prices, he argued. But he didn't deny the growing pain. And yet, after all of this, he still clung to the idea that Britain had a special relationship with the US. He tried to act as a bridge between Trump's America and the world. But Trump didn't want a bridge, he wanted leverage. Compliments don't matter anymore. Concessions do. Brexit was supposed to give Britain more freedom, more control. But now, it looked like isolation. Starmer had painted himself into a corner. The UK wasn't first in line for trade deals. It wasn't even a priority. It was just next in line for punishment. What people will remember is Starmer trying to act like Trump's equal, only to return home empty-handed. The mission failed. The promises fell apart. And the tariffs? They're here to stay. British industries are reeling, and all Starmer can offer is that he's working hard and making rapid progress. But does anyone still believe him? Let us know what you think in the comments. Did Starmer embarrass himself chasing Trump's approval? Is Britain still clinging to a special relationship that no longer exists? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from inside British politics.